Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 14th of December, now it's 15 past 11 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for a day in which I will share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms for this moment. During the day I will try to record and upload additional short updates. But I have a major announcement also for today, which is that at 5 p.m. I will have a live stream, and the guest on the live stream, it's gonna be our third interview on the project on main YouTube channel, and this time I will have an interview with former British member of Parliament and retired senior research fellow of UK Defence Academy, Matthew Gordon Banks. I hope you will find the time to join the live stream. I'm quite sure conversation with the British expert of foreign affairs and military matters will be very, very interesting. Well, that's been said. Let's talk about news now. And first of all, short summary of the situation on Ukrainian battlefield. During the night, Russian forces conducted yet another wave of drone and missile strikes on logistical and military infrastructure of Kyiv regime. Explosions were heard in Odessa region, Nikolaev direction, several other regions, but also in Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. Russian and Ukrainian Telegram channels did confirm this. Although Ukrainian Telegram channels share information from Kyiv's regime, according to which air defense of Kyiv regime did shut down 10 Russian Iskander missiles during the night over the Kyiv, which is, of course, we cannot take this information seriously, man. There is no way. I do not take even single word seriously that comes from Kyiv regime. They cannot be trusted at all. But it's up to you if you will believe that news. I will wait for additional information that will be available on Russian sources, and of course I will share this additional news with you during the next updates or on my Telegram channel, on which I already share video from Kyiv, in which you can clearly hear some explosions, also work of air defense in Kyiv. But yet again, let's see what Russian Defense Ministry will share with the public. I'm quite sure main task of Russian strikes were to neutralize industrial facilities of Kyiv regime, in which some components for drones or other weapon systems have been built, or even weapon systems themselves. That's been said. Also, this morning, Ukrainian side, Kyiv regime did try to strike deep inside Russian territory, and the Russian Defense Ministry did reported that nine Ukrainian drones were shot down over the Kaluga and Moscow regions on their approach to why they were flying towards Russia's capital. I guess that's my reading of situation. Probably Kyiv regime did try to strike on Moscow, but Russian air defense systems were ready, and they intercepted all the Ukrainian drones. Well, that's been said. When it comes to line of contact, Russian media, Defense Ministry, or Russian military channels did not report about some crucial changes on any of the sectors of the front line. I will say operational pause is mainly holding, although of course there are few hotspots, major hotspots on line of contact at this point, and major one among them is Avdiivka, also of course on Donetsk direction. But yet again, at this point we have local scale skirmishes, artillery duels between the sides, reckoning force operations. Initiative is in Russian hands, and Russian forces are constantly increasing pressure on Ukrainian militaries all along the front line. But well, there is no there is no crucial changes on line of contact. So if you are interested in more information about these local scale skirmishes, then of course I will recommend the military channels for this. They do provide exactly this detailed information about a line of contact. Among them, of course, military summary links you can see under this video in description box. And well, this is it for a short summary. There's plenty of news to unpack really, and I have to continue. But before I do so, let me thank all of you for your time, attention, likes, comments. It definitely does helps to reach a wider audience and further develop this project. And of course, special thank to members of our community who support my work with donations through PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. Without your attention and support, this project will definitely not exist, and I would not have this unique opportunity to work as a citizen journalist. So thank you very much. That's been said, let's talk about news now. And well, I did already report that Russian air defense systems shut down 9 drones over the Kaluga region and also Moscow region. No reports about casualties on the ground or damage. Next information is about big press conference of Putin and also direct line that will take place today. And of course I will monitor closely this event, and I will share additional information during the next updates and on my Telegram. I'm quite sure Putin will answer at least on a few dozens of questions. This press conference and direct line will last at least like 3-4 hours, I guess, and many important topics will be discussed and important statements made, and I may even devote separate video to this topic, to a press conference of Putin. Let's see how much time I will have, but it's gonna be important. Worldwide media probably will pay huge attention to this event. Next, many of you are probably familiar with the next news, but I want to share anyway. RT and many other media outlets in Russia did report that Zelensky, president of Ukraine, Zelensky, did spread quite false information, quite lies, while he was visiting the US in previous days. And many media outlets noticed that during the Zelensky's interview, for example, with the Fox News, with the anchor of Fox News, what is the name of this individual? Brett Baer or Bayer. During this interview, Zelensky said, let me read it. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has contradicted frontline developments by claiming that Russian troops have failed to capture a single village from Kiev's forces this year. And unfortunately, while this individual, while Zelensky was saying this total nonsense, this journalist from Fox did not challenge him. And I guess because he has no idea where Ukraine is. And he definitely cannot pinpoint on the map, any of the sectors of the front line. Kherson sector, Zaporozhye, so Donetsk, Krasny Liman, or Kupiansk, or Donetsk, or any of them. And of course, he's not just poorly educated, but also poorly informed about topics that he was discussing with Zelensky. And that's why this individual, this creature, Zelensky, was able to spread these lies, this fake news over the entire US without question being asked why he's lying. But well, it is what it is, man. That's the level of journalism in the mainstream media of the West, and because this kind of stuff is happening, I don't think we should be too surprised that the vast majority of public in the West are so poorly informed about situation in Ukraine and basically about many other global topics that you cannot expect from them, those poorly informed citizens, some adequate positions, isn't it? That's main feedback from this situation, because me personally, I don't give a damn about Zelensky and what he has to say, but it's quite unfortunate that citizens in US are listening to this crap and probably believing that Kyiv regime is winning, and if not today, tomorrow they're gonna capture Moscow, and that's why those funds that have been sent to Kyiv regime and weapons, I mean, it's good, man, it's working, let's continue. That's very unfortunate, man, that's very unfortunate, but what you gonna do? How you gonna compete against these monsters, this MSM, this fake media outlets that are propaganda outlets in reality? And when it comes to real information, of course our community well informed that it was this year when Russian forces established control over the Bakhmut, man. Is Bakhmut, according to Zelensky, not important settlement? Or maybe Solidar is not important settlement? Or maybe Marinka, that was under Marinka did become under full Russian control just in previous days. And many other settlements, dear friends. Just the previous week, Russian forces established control over there. For example, Khromovo right next to Bakhmut. What Zelensky is talking about? I mean, he is lying, and unfortunately he was not challenged. And this is happening, by the way. Russian side is establishing control over these settlements, several cities and dozens of settlements, while being in active defense. This is also important. The Russian side did not even begin its large-scale offensive operations. And Avdiivka now. Take a look at Avdiivka. Avdiivka is in operational encirclement, isn't it? And it's highly likely that before end of this month, Avdiivka will become under full Russian control also. But it is what it is, man. Unfortunately, level of journalism in Western so-called mainstream media is such a low that, lies were spread without challenge, and unfortunately, as a result of it, public in the West, vast majority of public are very poorly informed and have no idea what's going on, not just in Ukraine, but in general in the world. Anyway, let's continue. This is also interesting. TASS news agency is reporting that Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs put head of Ukraine's military intelligence, Kirill Budanov, in the wanted list under charge of terrorism, assisting terrorism, and this information is important in my understanding, because it does confirms what I was saying quite a few times before, that Moscow will not consider Zelensky and Budanov as someone with whom Moscow can have negotiations, serious talks. And this topic is relevant. This topic is relevant because we clearly can see that Western ruling class is trying to not just prepare ground to distance themselves from Kyiv regime and entire this mess that they created in Ukraine, but they also are now working on replacement of Zelensky. And just a few days ago, Russian Service of Foreign Intelligence did reported, and I did spoke about it on my previous updates, that during the summit of foreign ministers of EU member states, just recently, towards end of November, leaders of EU and EU member states were discussing possible replacements for Zelensky, candidacies who may replace Zelensky. So topic is highly discussed now in the ruling elites in the West, and among names, EU high-ranking officials were mentioning Budanov, Zaluzhny, Mayor of Kiev Klitschko, also former aide of Zelensky Arestovich, and current head of his office, current head of presidential office, Yermak is his surname, if I'm not mistaken. And I did, when I was reporting about it, I did said that these last three names, Mayor of Kiev Klitschko, Arestovich, and Yermak, can be ruled out straight away because they don't have enough public support in Ukraine. Mayor of Kiev may have some support, also Arestovich, but Klitschko already made quite several statements and basically pointed himself in a camp of Zaluzhny. And Arestovich, when it comes to Arestovich, he is somewhat popular in Ukraine, but because he has no influence in the military, in the secret services, probably he will have no chance to achieve anything on the presidential elections, because of his lack of influence in Ukraine, he will not be received by society as someone who may replace Zelensky, let's say this way. But I also commented on Budanov's candidacy, and I said it's not just Zelensky that Moscow will not take as someone with whom some serious talks may happen, but also Budanov. Moscow will not talk to Budanov on serious matters, and I was correct. I guess I was correct. Today we have information that Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs put Budanov on wanted list on very serious charges of terrorism. And of course, this is a message from Moscow to Washington that if they think replace Zelensky with Budanov, they should rethink or think again, because Moscow will not talk to Budanov. Zaluzhny, possibly yes. Moscow probably will talk with Zaluzhny, but not with Budanov. And Washington has some issues now in its hands because CIA was basically overheading operations of Zelensky's camp and Budanov's camp. Both these individuals are assets of CIA. When it comes to Zaluzhny, according to reports that I see on different sources, Zaluzhny has close ties with the United Kingdom, with MI6, UK's military intelligence, and UK's military in general. So I guess Washington will be forced to basically support their British colleagues in this regard, and began seeing Zaluzhny as a major candidate who will replace Zelensky when time comes. But Budanov, we can rule out Budanov 100% now. After this information, 100% we can rule out his candidacy, because Moscow will definitely not talk to him. And West do needs someone in charge in Ukraine, formally in charge, because of course in real power is in the hands of Washington and London, that's obvious. But they need someone, at least formally, to represent regime there in Kiev, and someone with whom Moscow will talk. And that candidacy is Zaluzhny. And I guess he's under, UK's military intelligence has some issues now on its hands, because they have to secure Zaluzhny from Budanov and from Zelensky, because they will definitely try to take him out. Anyway, let's continue. Although Budanov and Zelensky, they are not in good terms also, and they have some civil war going on between each other and each other's camps also. So it's a mess, man. Modern Ukraine It's a total mess, 100%, in every sense, But let's continue. RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian Foreign Ministry did made a statement that Moscow will, if Western-made fighter jets or any type of fighter jets, basically, will take off from NATO member states, Poland, for example, Slovakia or Romania, to conduct military operations against Russia, Moscow will perceive these countries as directly involved in this conflict against Russia, and countermeasures will be taken. Serious countermeasures will be taken. That's a warning, yet another warning from Moscow towards Western ruling class, towards ruling elites in Poland, in Romania and Slovakia, and well, I guess they will listen. They will listen to this warning. At least Slovakia did. And deputy of chairman of parliament in Slovakia, Luboš Blaga, did made a statement on this topic and said that it's obvious that if F-16s will take off from air bases in NATO member states to conduct operations against Russian forces, for Moscow it will be crossing of a red line, and it may provoke direct confrontation between these NATO member states and Russia, and eventually between NATO and Russia, which is true, by the way. So Russian warning did reach Slovakia, and I guess leadership in Poland and Romania will probably also listen, and they will deny Brussels or let's say ruling elites of the West to use airfields in these countries to conduct military operations against Russian forces, because Russia will retaliate. There was too many warnings on this topic, and I think Russia will, if necessary, retaliate. Let's continue. And RIA Novosti is reporting that first Russian maritime drone have been sent to zone of special military operation for trials. That's how this drone looks. It's like boat. Sealed boat packed with explosives and some equipment to navigate and have communication with the operator. And well, if trials are successful, then I guess in 2024 we will see huge number of Russian maritime drones being deployed into the Black Sea, and especially I guess in areas of Dnieper River, in Nikolaev region, in Odessa region. And when it comes to Odessa region, of course, one of the possible main directions for Russian maritime drones will be Danube River and infrastructure, military and logistical infrastructure of Kiev regime on Danube River. In areas of cities of Kilia, for example, Ismail and rest of them. So let's see how these trials will go. I guess it's only a matter of like several months, and we will see huge numbers of Russian maritime drones being deployed to the Black Sea aquatory. And well, next news is definitely also interesting. TASS news agency is reporting about story which once again confirms that this confrontation between Russia and Ukraine that was provoked by Western ruling elites is a civil war. Basically, it definitely has elements of civil war, and this story definitely confirms this, because according to this report, Ukrainian soldier, once he was deployed to a zero line, did use Volga radio frequency, which is 149.200, and contacted Russian military personnel and arranged he's surrendering. Straight away, once he arrived on the front line, that was first what he and his unit did. They contacted Russian forces. This radio frequency, 149.200 Volga, is special frequency that are used exactly to communicate with the Russian forces. It's made for Ukrainian military personnel, so that they can arrange safe surrendering. And this military personnel, while interviewing, he said that he made decision because his brother told him so, to use this frequency to contact Russian forces and to surrender. And his brother is also military, and he's serving in Russian forces in zone of special military operation. Exactly in the zone of special military operation, and he managed to communicate with his brother before he was deployed to the zero line. His brother told him what to do, and he's he made right decision, and well, he will live now to say his story to his grandkids. But the story itself is definitely proves, isn't it, that I mean, this is definitely civil war. This conflict definitely has elements of civil war in it, because two brothers on different side of line of contact. It cannot get any closer to civil war than this story, isn't it? So that's a tragedy for both nations, man. For both people, man. Citizens of Russia, for Russians, and for Russian and for Ukrainian society. It's tragedy. That was caused and provoked by Western ruling class and a bunch of criminals in Ukraine that are operating under orders of Western ruling class. Let's continue now, and RT is reporting that well, Germany may declare some emergency over Ukraine. That was said by Scholz. Quite often Scholz is in media light, and in Russian media also, and mainly because he does make some outrageous statements. And let's read several sentences here. Germany may have to declare an emergency at home in order to provide additional assistance to Kyiv next year if the situation in Ukraine gets any worse, Chancellor Olaf Scholz warned in a government statement to the parliament on Wednesday. Well, how are we gonna comment it, man? He is ready to declare emergency in Germany just to have some additional powers, so that he can send additional weapons and money to Kyiv regime. I mean, you cannot make this up, man. This story up, man. I mean, some really crazy stuff is happening in Europe, in Germany in particular, or in Germany also. The opposition has branded his plan financial trickery and vowed to never let it happen. Scholz's coalition government has just reached a deal on its 2024 budget following weeks of tense negotiations. The cabinet agreed to keep existing debt restrictions while cutting the operational costs of various departments and slashing certain climate-related subsidies. Further military and financial aid to Kyiv regime was still named as one of Berlin's top priorities, alongside Germany's green economy transformation and strengthening of social cohesion. How are we going to comment this seriously? They are cutting funding for Germany itself, for Germany's departments, state institutions, for German people basically, and they are doing this just in order to throw some more money and weapons into this conflict in Ukraine and prolong this tragedy as much as they possibly can. Well, very unfortunate, very unfortunate. I don't even know, I cannot even say now how long it will take to rebuild these destroyed relationships between Germany and Russia, man. Or even if it will be possible ever at all. After what these crazies in current leadership of Germany are doing, man. They destroyed not just relationship with Russia, but they are destroying Germany's future also. It's just simple true, isn't it? And well, I don't know what German citizens are thinking, but they do have some issues on their hands, man. They have to act before it's not too late. With such a leadership, I would not be surprised if Germany will begin collapsing in the next 10-15 years, man. Let's continue, and RT is reporting that German army is losing manpower according to Bild. That's quite interesting. German army is losing manpower while sending more and more weapons and billions to Kiev regime. Billions of euros. Interesting. Well, the German army has neither the strength nor the equipment required to effectively defend the nation. The tabloid Bild reported on Wednesday, citing its own analysis of the state of the armed forces. The outlet was fact-checking warning issues last week by Inspector General Carsten Breuer, the country's top-ranking military official. In 2018, then Defense Minister Ursula von der Leyen aimed to boost the number of German troops to 203,000 by 2025. Current Minister of Defense Boris Pistorius has pushed the deadline to 2031 and kept the strength target, which some experts consider not high enough, Bild noted. The actual number of armed forces personnel dropped from roughly 183,000 in the summer to 181,000 as of the end of October, with thousands of vacancies unfulfilled. Only 0.4% of the total German population are in the military. Well, yet again, I don't think Germany's current leadership cares about security of Germany or security of citizens of Germany, or I don't think they even have any understanding what German national interests are. Probably they don't think in these terms. They are puppets of globalists, so you know they see Germany as just territory where they can implement some ideological goals of globalists. They didn't see Germany as their homeland or something special for them, being Germans. No, they just don't care, man. They are puppets of globalists, and that's a result of it. They are destroying German economy, they are destroying German army while sending billions and billions of euro and weapons to Kiev regime to yet again serve geopolitical agendas of very same globalists that they are working for. The Scholz, Baerbock, and the rest of them, man. So as I said, German society definitely has some issues to work on before it's not too late, because 10-15 years of such a leadership and Germany not just not gonna be #1 economy in Europe, but they may have some very strong issues there. The economy may just collapse, and we may see some separatist movements even in Germany, which is very strong, dear friends. It's formally is a united country, but in reality different regions have very different approach to things. West Germany, for example, are not yet even fully incorporated or integrated in the Germany, United Germany. West Germany is very different, and other regions also. So Germany is in very difficult situation, but it's an issue of German society, isn't it? They have to think about it and make some decisions. Let's continue. TASS news agency is reporting that South Korea did made statement this morning that Russian and Chinese planes did enter space of self-identification of the air defense of the South Korea. This is area in which if planes are entering, they have to identify themselves. Every country has such areas. And well, I did not see a report from Russian side on this matter, but according to Korean officials, South Korean officials, 4 Russian planes and 2 Chinese planes did simultaneously enter this area of identification. Probably Russian and Chinese forces, Air Force were conducting some combined exercises, and they did enter that area. TASS news agency is reporting that the next big topic, of course, Middle East, escalation in the Middle East, and TASS news agency is reporting that ambassador of Israel in London said that there can be no two-state solutions. And UN is mistaken. UN and everyone else who is pushing narrative of two-state solutions, they are all mistaken. It will never happen. Well, how you gonna comment this? Israel is continuing with its operation in the Gaza Strip, and I believe main goal for Netanyahu's government is to force all Palestinians out of Gaza Strip into Egypt. This is on the first stage. If they succeed, if Israeli government succeeds in this ethnic cleansing and genocide, then on the next stage they will do the same in West Bank. And if they are successful in the West Bank, after that they may even try to do the same in the Lebanon and occupy southern Lebanon. Who knows? Who knows how far Netanyahu's government or these extreme elements in Israeli government and political system are willing to go. But at this point, I'm quite sure major goal for Netanyahu and his inner circle is to force Palestinians out of Gaza Strip, and unfortunately world at this point is still unable to somehow influence the situation and force both sides to begin negotiations on a ceasefire. And furthermore, I would not be surprised at all if Netanyahu's government even now will try in next several weeks or months will try to escalate with Lebanon and to provoke direct full-scale conflict with Hezbollah, in which case I guess Washington and other NATO member states will be introduced to the battlefield and will get also involved in this confrontation. Maybe that's a plan of Netanyahu to provoke conflict with Lebanon right now in next several weeks or months, and basically provoke direct involvement of US and other NATO member states also in this battle against Hezbollah or Lebanon. RT is reporting that Guyana vows to defend itself by all means aimed territorial dispute. As we all know, Venezuela has claim on a significant part of Guyana, more than half of Guyana, Guyana Essequibo or something like that region, that called Essequibo, yeah. Guyana Essequibo, that's a region that Venezuela claims to be part of Venezuela, and unfortunately it's quite possible that eventually some military hostilities will begin between Venezuela and Guyana, and maybe Colombia will get involved in this story also, and maybe even Brazil. Although, I mean, I guess Brazil, being BRICS member state, will definitely try to be an adult in the room and try to, you know, navigate situation in the way that will be less damaging for the region. RT is reporting that U.S. Congress votes on Biden's impeachment. The Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives voted on Wednesday to formalize the party's ongoing impeachment probe into President Joe Biden's alleged corruption and influence peddling. The resolution passed with 221 for and 212 votes against, I guess, strictly along party lines. Well, I don't think this impeachment process will achieve anything, but it will definitely be used by Republican Party as a additional source of media attention, free advertisement basically, and they will continue pushing this narrative until presidential elections, basically, because this is a good opportunity for them to have a free air on TV stations. This is, you know, this done for advertising purposes, I'm quite sure. This is pure political struggle between the Republicans and Democrats, because I guess everybody understands that they will not impeach Biden no matter how corrupt he is. And it's just not happening. RT is reporting that Apple to expand production in India, which is great news for India. A planned Apple manufacturing facility in India is set to get an extra $1 billion in investment to help the US tech giant move some of its productions out of China. Bloomberg reported on Wednesday. Apple's largest assembly contractor, Taiwan-based Foxconn Technology Group, has secured government approval to invest at least $1 billion more on top of the previously approved $1.6 billion in the site in India that will produce Apple products. The outlet claimed, citing people familiar with the matter. So, well, great news for India, great news for India. India definitely is a major economy, biggest, fastest growing major economy in the world at this point. India's economy grows significantly faster than Chinese economy, and well, this is good. This is good. As you know, I see India as a strategic partner for Russia in every sense, and especially in sense of strategic security. And I think many in India also see Russia as a strategic partner in many ways, and especially in terms of strategic security. Well, any good news for India is good for Russia, and any good news for Russia is good for India. That's my take on this topic. So great news, great news. Great news, and well, one may only hope that investments flow to India will increase on regular basis, and in 10, 15, 20 years time, India will become, if not first, definitely one of the top economies in the world. Definitely. In top 3, I did see India, undoubtedly. In 10, 15, 20 years time, that's possibility in my understanding. Let's continue now, and RT is reporting that world trade is suffering decline. That's quite unfortunate news for the world economy. Global trade will contract by 5% in 2023 compared to last year. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development reported this week, expressing a generally negative outlook for 2024. According to UNCTAD estimates, world commerce is expected to amount to approximately 30.7 trillion this year. The UN body projected a decrease in goods trade by about 2 trillion or 8%, while trade in services is anticipated to grow by approximately 500 billion or 7%. Well, in a situation when Western ruling class is waging sanctions war against Russia and quite a few other countries worldwide, it's not surprising that world trade has some difficulties. But and it's not surprising that forecast for 2024 is also not that optimistic. But yet again, unfortunately, ruling elites of the West, they still are power, and they still are global power, and they can do some serious damage, and they do, to the world. Until they are, neutralized or forced to come to the terms that they can no longer be a dominant force in this world, I guess they will continue to act as an extremely negative force in this world. TASS news agency is reporting that in Kaluga, car manufacturing plant AMO began production of trucks. Began production of trucks on the factory that previously was owned by Volvo company, and well, good news for local economy in Kaluga. In 2024, this factory will only produce like 2,000 trucks, which is not a huge number, of course, but still it will allow this facility, this factory, to work and to maintain workforce. And well, hopefully in upcoming years they will manage to increase production and for the development. So it's a good news, man. Some Western companies are leaving Russia and already left Russia, and many, they were forced basically because of the Western sanctions to sell their assets in Russia. And whoever buy these assets, they are now operating them and are producing goods, high quality goods that are Russian, not foreign companies, but Russian made. RIA Novosti is reporting that gold reserves of Russia did reach a record level of $150 billion, or to be more precise, 151.9 billion, which is a record. Never before Russian gold reserves reached this amount. Previous record was 148.7 billion. So, well, quite interesting news. Russian gold and foreign currency reserves in total are 592.4 billion, according to Central Bank of Russian Federation. Quite a significant safety cushion, let's say, isn't it, for economy? 592 billion. It's quite a money for any country, of course, and quite guarantees for Russian economy also. Well, this is gonna be last news for today's update. RIA Novosti is reporting that according to experts' forecast, Urals oil, Urals brand of the oil, which is a Russian brand, will average price on it will be $78 for a barrel in 2024, which is well quite good number, I believe, for Russian economy. Quite a good number for Russian economy. Although, you know, if you take in account developments in the world, escalation in the Middle East, and possible escalation also in Latin America, in South America, because of this territorial dispute between Venezuela and Guyana, and there are some other regions, major regions in this world, that situations may, you know, deteriorate significantly. It's quite possible that prices on oil will be significantly higher than this projected $78. But this amount is, I believe, good enough for Russian economy, because whenever Russian side, Russian finance ministry are planning, an economical bloc is working on a budget, if I'm not mistaken, prices on oil are forecasted on $40 or something like that, and the $78 is like twice more. So Russian budget gonna receive additional funds, some extra funds that were not included in the budget, which is always good. I mean, if you have a surplus, it's always good. And when you are talking about budgets and, you know, like some economical stuff, trade and so on. And this is it for now. Well, quite short video, I will say. It's no longer than an hour. Well, hopefully you will find this update interesting, and if so, please click that like button, leave some commentary about any topic you like, and if you can, please share links to my videos or my channel with your friends. And if you think this project, this channel is interesting, useful, informative, and deserves to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support my work with small donations through PayPal, buy me a coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. You can see links on this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care. And dear friends, 5 o'clock today, Moscow time, interview on the channel, so I hope you will find time to join the stream. 5 o'clock today, Moscow time. Have a great day and take care.